Welcome back to Galaxy Recaps. Today, we're diving into an action-packed thriller film titled Triple Frontier. Get ready for an adrenaline-filled recap. Our story kicks off with the relentless buzz of a police helicopter cutting through the skies over rural South America. Santiago, a sharp and resourceful police marksman, is on a high-stakes mission. He's hunting down members of a notorious drug gang holed up in a Stark apartment hideout. His main target, Gabriel Martin Loria, their affluent and elusive boss. With a swift, decisive shot, Santiago's bullet shatters the silence, piercing the heart of Loria's stronghold. Backed by his armed police squad, Santiago captures some of Loria's henchmen. The officers tighten the screws, pressing the captives for any scrap of information on Loria's whereabouts. Under the mounting pressure, one of them cracks, divulging that Loria's hideout is deep in the jungle. Distrusting banks, it's believed Loria's wealth is stashed in his own home. While most of the captives are kept under tight surveillance, one woman manages to break free from her restraints and elude capture. A foot chase erupts with Santiago and his team in hot pursuit. Despite their best efforts, she's too quick, slipping away into the night. This woman, Giovanna, is no ordinary escapee. She's Santiago's informant. They have a deal. In exchange for her brother's freedom from jail, she'll reveal Loria's location and the whereabouts of his fortune. As Loria's trusted cash courier, she confirms the money is hidden deep in the jungle inside his home, which serves as his actual safe. But Giovanna drops a bombshell. There's a traitor within Santiago's team monitoring his every move. Armed with this chilling revelation, Santiago hatches a daring plan. He's going to assemble a loyal crew for a high-stakes heist and make Loria pay the ultimate price. Santiago's mind turns to a trusted ally, retired soldier William Ironhead Miller, who agrees to join the mission on one condition: Tom Redfly Davis must also be on board. Santiago focuses on recruiting Tom, a former military officer now working as a realtor, struggling with family and financial issues. One morning, as Tom drives his daughter Tess to school, Santiago joins him for a serious conversation. They discuss the plan and negotiate a 25% cut of any seized money with their agency. Santiago estimates a staggering $75 million hidden in Loria's secluded home. The lure of such a fortune motivates Santiago to meticulously plan the heist. To pull this off, Santiago needs a dependable team. He reaches out to Benny and Catfish, resourceful and trustworthy agents. During one of Benny's boxing matches, Tom makes a surprise appearance, catching the group off guard. He outlines the plan. They'll use forged passports and pose as power line consultants to cross immigration undetected. With no facial recognition cameras in the area, they'll move like ghosts. Hearing the detailed strategy, Tom finally agrees to join the heist. With their team assembled, they head towards the jungle for a recon mission. Driving to the outskirts of Loria's opulent mansion, they conceal themselves in the bushes, carefully surveying the property and evaluating the best way to infiltrate. The team learns that every Sunday, Loria's family attends church. 3 of Loria's guards leave for the early 6 a.m. service, and upon their return, Loria sends off the rest of his team and family to town for mass. This routine leaves only him and 3 guards at the mansion. Paranoid about leaving his money and children unprotected, Loria sends several guards with them. Armed with this information, the team's plan starts to shape up smoothly. During their stakeout, they spot Santiago's informant Giovanna in a van. The team teases Santiago, joking about a potential romance with the informant. Shortly after, Giovanna meets with Loria to finalize a shipment. As night falls, the heist crew takes a break, relaxing with beers in hand. But amidst the calm, doubts creep in. They begin to question the mission, realizing that Santiago has led them into a high-stakes illegal money heist with no support. Santiago's true aim is to pillage Loria's wealth, seeking more than just catching criminals and getting little recognition in return. Amidst these revelations, Santiago and Giovanna hold a secretive meeting. He requests one last favor from her: to bring an extra van into the compound on a Sunday morning. He needs that van inside the gate and pledges to pay her $2 million, ultimately securing her brother's freedom. On a rainy Sunday morning, the crew arrives at their destination, initially seeking cover in the bushes. Giovanna skillfully maneuvers her van past the gate, signaling the team that it's time to put their plan into action. As she leaves, Benny steps forward to inspect and unlatch the gate, allowing the crew to move in. Once inside the mansion, the crew cautiously explores the area. When they encounter some of Loria's armed guards, they act swiftly and ruthlessly, taking them down with precision and ease. They fire their weapons decisively, eliminating Loria's final guards and capturing his men. All the while, they search high and low for Loria himself, but he's nowhere to be found. The next step is to ensure everyone is taken care of so they can proceed with their plan unimpeded. Redfly instructs his friends to follow him to the office post-haste. Meanwhile, Santiago, in a surprising move, tears down a seemingly fragile wall. Behind this thin facade, they find an astonishing sight: Loria's millions stashed away. Their suspicion is confirmed. The house truly is a massive safe. A rush of excitement courses through their veins as they fill their bags with as much money as they can grab, quickly stowing it away in their van. They continue to tear away at the thin walls, greedily searching for more cash. Every new discovery feeds their hunger and their desire for a life of luxury. With time ticking away, they must swiftly gather their spoils before Loria's family and guards return. Yet Redfly, overtaken by his insatiable greed, desires to stash even more money. Santiago, on the other hand, seeks revenge on Loria, the perpetrator of numerous injustices. His plan is to burn Loria's money-laden house and tarnish his name. As they move through the house, spreading gasoline in preparation to ignite the inferno, a secret cabinet creaks open. The crew instantly opens fire at the secret room. To their astonishment, Loria is concealed within, surrounded by his money with a gun in hand. Santiago quickly retaliates, shooting Loria dead. Tragically, William is struck by one of Loria's stray bullets. Despite his injury, his resilience keeps him in play. They deal with any remaining guards and light up the gasoline, grinning at the sight of their fiery retribution. As the blaze rapidly engulfs the mansion, they make their escape, leaving the burning house behind. No sooner have they escaped than the crew sees Loria's family in a car. Deciding to avoid further complications, they quickly drive away, heading for a rendezvous point where a helicopter awaits. Suddenly, a chopper looms overhead, its arrival heralding the next stage of their escape. They need to transport the hefty 6,000 pounds of stolen money, totaling a whopping $250 million. However, the helicopter's weight limit poses a significant problem. Regardless, the idea of leaving $20 million behind is unthinkable, so they quickly adjust their plans to accommodate their loot. They also take the time to drop off Giovanna and her brother at a secure location. Santiago hands them passports for travel to Sydney, Australia, along with $3 million to kickstart their new lives. He warns Giovanna to stay away from South America, where her life might be in danger. Santiago requests that once they reach the airport, they should stop at a specific shipping company and arrange for the boxes to be sent to a hotel in Sydney. With this, their bittersweet parting is marked by the mystery of whether they'll ever cross paths again. Later, the loud chopper blades abruptly awaken them. They find themselves stranded in a snow-covered landscape. The crew quickly realizes that escaping is proving to be more difficult than the heist itself. In the midst of their getaway, the engine begins to falter. Left with no choice, they decide to offload some of the money bags to lighten their load. Despite their best efforts, the release lever fails to work. However, the temporary relief ends abruptly as their helicopter loses control and crashes. They find themselves in the middle of a farmland with their money bags scattered all around. Just when they think their luck can't get any worse, local farmers lay claim to the money, asserting it's theirs now, given it fell on their land. The crew attempts to negotiate, but Redfly, fueled by frustration, reacts violently. His anger boils over, and he begins firing at the farmers who approach their money, leading to a horrific clash. In the aftermath of Redfly's violent outburst, terrified villagers scream and scramble for safety. The crew looks on as the villagers grieve for their fallen loved ones, victims of Redfly's reckless gunfire. Seeking some semblance of reparation, the crew hands over a portion of their money to the local community captain, imploring him to distribute it among the grieving families. As they journey onward, they purchase mules from the captain to help transport the money. Along the way, they come across a young boy seething with anger and a lust for vengeance. His father was one of the victims of Redfly's indiscriminate shooting. The boy's silent resentment serves as a reminder of the deadly consequences of their actions. The crew continues their escape, traversing a dense forest and stopping only to catch a night's rest. As dawn breaks, they face the formidable challenge of crossing a steep rocky mountain. During the treacherous climb, one of their mules stumbles and falls, losing a bag of cash in the process. Recognizing the danger of their path, they decide to free the remaining mules and carry only as many money bags as they can manage. As night falls, they resort to burning some of the money to keep warm in the bone-chilling cold. Morning arrives with only a few bags of cash remaining. The peaceful silence is shattered by the ominous echo of gunfire. Gunshots ricochet off the surrounding rocks, sending the crew scrambling for cover. They split up to confront the hidden shooters and discover a familiar face, the vengeful teenage boy, his gaze fixed on them with burning hatred. Redfly, in an attempt to neutralize the threat, pulls his trigger, downing the boy with a single shot. As he turns away from the lifeless body, he is instantly shot by the young boy from earlier, hitting Redfly directly. Simultaneously, a second gunshot rings out as Santiago takes down the young boy. They watch in shock and grief as Redfly, their friend and comrade, falls to the ground. Despite the heavy loss, Santiago rallies the crew, reminding them of why they embarked on this mission in the first place. For their deserved riches and for the families waiting for them at home, carrying Redfly's body and the remaining money, they press on, trekking through a snowy landscape towards a pre-arranged boat. But they are 5 days late and uncertainty looms. With the mission veering off track and tensions running high, Benny takes the lead to scout for escape routes and check on the pre-arranged boat. He separates from the group, leaving his friends anxiously awaiting his return. After a long night, Benny comes back with news that brings a glimmer of hope. The boat is still there waiting for them. Benny has ensured their escape by paying the boat captain half of his pay. However, not all the news is good. Benny also warns of a group of heavily armed kids in town, presumably Loria's young soldiers seeking revenge. This news weighs heavy on the group, particularly William, who argues that they didn't sign up for a mission that involved killing children. He takes Santiago aside for a private conversation, reminding him that they all knew the risks when they joined the mission. In an attempt to limit the damage their mission has caused, they decide to leave behind the bulk of the money, taking only what they can carry in their day packs. As night falls, they're within reach of the boat. Despite William's injury slowing them down, they press on, fearing the boat might leave without them. Benny goes ahead, spotting a group of armed kids partying on the beach near their escape boat. He manages to sneak onto the boat, thanking the captain once more for his patience. Meanwhile, Santiago, Catfish, and William navigate their way through the forest, trying their best to avoid detection. Their efforts are thwarted when an armed child confronts them. Santiago tries to negotiate, but the boy reaches for his radio to call for backup. They manage to disarm him before he can disclose their location, taking his radio, gun, and car and leaving him tied up. Santiago tosses the boy some money before they depart in the stolen car. The situation ignites an argument within the trio. While William is adamant about not killing children, Catfish counters that if Benny and the boat aren't at the cove, he's prepared to start taking lives. Their escape plan takes a treacherous turn as a car rams into them. Santiago, ready with his gun, realizes the car is full of kids and decides to shoot the bonnet, forcing them to retreat. However, their troubles don't end there. 2 more cars tail them, and they overhear a call on the radio for all units to hunt them down. A high-speed chase ensues through the forest, with Santiago firing at the cars behind them, managing to force one car into a tree, causing it to explode. They find themselves on the beach, still pursued. Spotting Benny in the distance, Santiago signals him to meet at the end of the road. As they barrel down the sand and launch over a dune into the water, they abandon the car. William lays down cover fire while the others struggle to carry Redfly's body through the waves to the boat. The gunfight continues even as they board the boat, but eventually, they manage to make their grand escape. Back in the US, they meet with their lawyer, who tells them that the sum total of their haul is $5,334,120. Divided 5 ways, that's $1,066,824 each. They're all expected to sign so that Redfly's share goes to his trust. However, moved by a sense of remorse and respect for their fallen friend, William decides to tear his paper and declares his share should go to Redfly's trust too. Benny, Catfish, and finally Santiago follow suit. Before they part ways, Santiago hands them all new passports. William lingers, discussing his plans to visit Giovanna in Australia. Santiago gives him a brotherly hug, then hands him a paper with the coordinates to the ditch where they dump the rest of the money. A knowing smile crosses Santiago's face as he walks away, disappearing into the distance. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.